We are back once again with another Temu haul. And could this be the wildest one yet? It's holding in strong, and I've got stacks of stuff to go through, including this, which is supposed to be everything I need to sleep on and in. Here's Johnny. Now, along with my haul, you can also use my discount code DYU8726. Search it on the Temu app, just like you're seeing right there, and £100 worth of coupons will be applied. Now, for any decent Temu haul video, of course, I need to do it bankside so I can actually use all the stuff I'm unboxing and give it a good test. And as you can see, the rods are out behind me on one of my local day tickets. This is Heath Lake at Avalon Fisheries, somewhere I have fished several times before in the past, but not for a very, very long time. So I've booked on here, and I've come up to the very top corner on one of the banks. I've got a lovely tree line just to my right there, an island to my left. At the moment, I'm the only one on the lake, but that doesn't matter. When I got down here, the first thing I saw was tons and tons of bubbling. So I wasted no time at all in getting the rods out. And I used a little trick to get the rods in position without spooking the fish, which is casting beyond the feeding fish, quickly flicking the bailam over, winding so you bring the rod back, and then it slowly drops down in front of them. So rather than having a 3.5 ounce lead and a rig crashing directly on their head, you cast beyond them, a bit like what you do when you're surface fishing, and bring it back into the feeding fish. I did that, and it didn't take long for the rod to go off, and I ended up having a nice sort of low double common in the net. As it's still bubbling out there, I've put the rods back out once more, doing exactly the same method by casting beyond the bubbles, bringing it back, letting the lead drop subtly, and put it down on the rest. So I don't think it's going to be long until one of those rods goes off again. Well, I didn't think it'd be long until that rod went off again. The amount of bubbling out there was ridiculous, and this one certainly wasn't hanging about. About the same size as the first one, bit of a ghosty look to this one, and the camera is definitely confirming that because it's struggling with the exposure. But let's not get too sidetracked with the fishing side of things just yet. To get this one back, start going through my Temu haul. Time for the fun bit, unboxing everything I've got with me today, and I think it's about 23 different items, from a couple of quid up to over £100. Also from stuff I can wear, just stuff I can use whilst fishing, to everything I need to sleep on and in, which I'm pretty sure is in that box. There is no backup bed chair or bivvy in my car. What you see here is what I need to use on this 24-hour session, so that's going to be interesting. And as always, I'm going to run through the prices on each item as I go through them and see what I think about them. But although I'm pretty happy with the clothing that I wear when I go fishing, I've got my dedicated Nuffinbutfishing terrain hoodie. It wouldn't be a Temu haul without seeing what fishing clothing they had on offer. T-shirt, trousers, hoodie, hat, shoes. Time to stick them all on. But I don't really want to do it out in the public, which is why I've got something behind the camera to give me a bit of privacy. Do you want to see it? Are you ready for this? Ready? It's a thing of beauty. Ta-da! My portable changing room, shower block, toilet cubicle, or if you like to sleep upright, you could use it as a bivvy as well. What a thing of beauty. Let's just show you around. Obviously, you've got your main entrance right here. A knot at the top. 2 poles. And a little peeping Tom window. So if you want to use this for whatever reason, there is a window there. Now, I will get onto the price of this portable privacy tent, but for now, let's get changed. So much privacy. Oh yes, I'm liking them. They're like flares. There's a hanging rack in here. This t-shirt is created for the 50-year-old bloke going to a carp show. You'll see what I mean in a second. Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be a Temu angler.
Miss you, I'm a baddie with a bad attitude. Got my go crew. It's essential to become exceptional. And
what do you think? A strong look, I am very aware, but it does make you stand out from the crowd. Let's go through everything from bottom to top, starting with the shoes. Now, these came in at an original price of $10.49, but I believe you can get them as little as 99p with some deals as well. They are an acquired taste. There's what I'd say you could see like a geography teacher wearing on a school trip, but they are super lightweight and they're actually really, really comfortable. They're as close to feeling like you've not got shoes on, but still having your feet protected. And I've been walking on the gravel on the swim, and they actually feel quite decent. They look like they're shaped for your toes. They're meant to be quick dry, I think, like quick wicking, so you can walk into the water and they should dry pretty quick. There's not much to them, and like I said, they look a little different, but they are really, really comfortable. So I'm quite happy with those. Then that brings us on to the cargos, which is probably something I would have worn when I was 12, 13. I remember having some pretty baggy camo trousers for when I went fishing. These cargo pants, original price $8.38, but you can get them as little as 83p. So again, not very much. And then that brings us on to the t-shirt, which is going to be the talking point of this whole outfit, I'm aware. Oh, little beep on one of the rods. Originally came in at a whopping £3.75, but could be yours for as little as 37p. That's got to be worth a punt, surely. Even if it's just to get attention for the wrong reasons. It's bold, shall we put it that way. Let's move on from that. That brings us on to the hoodie. Lightweight, not much to it, but it does say on it, this is my fishing hoodie, so you can wear it anywhere, but you probably only wear it fishing. And that came in at £9.37. Could be yours for as little as 93p. And last but no means least, we've got the cap, which looks like, I don't know, a skeleton of a pike or something, say fish on. £3.38 originally, could be yours for as little as 32p. So this entire outfit doesn't cost very much at all. Whether you would purchase it yourself and wear this out on the bank is up to you. But that is the look I'm going for the rest of the session. I'm going to have to explain myself every time someone walks around and has a chat with me and try to look somewhat serious. That brings us on to the privacy tent, which has got a couple of other items to go with it, which we're going to go grab. And then we'll run through exactly how much this is and what we think of it. It's already worked well as a changing room. And before I show them to the camera, take a guess at what the other items that come alongside the portable privacy tent are. You won't believe how many times it took me to say portable privacy tent. It is a shower and a toilet. Obviously this is gravity fed, so you've got to fill it from one side there and hang it from the inside. But slight issue with that is, yes, you can hang it. There is a hook on the inside, but if you were to do that, and this is gravity fed, that's already down to my waist before it's even, actually once it's hung in there, it's almost at my knee height. Not really sure how you're going to shower in here with that when it's at your knee, other than sitting on the floor. It's going to work in a tree. That's the only way I can see it working, or maybe showering your dog inside this tent. So it comes with it. It's really handy. You can use that elsewhere, but also pretty solid portable toilet. It's handy. And it also came with a little beep on the right hand rod. It also came with some disposable bags and I think some sanitizing pods or something or other. But there you are, a portable toilet, which in a pinch, or maybe you're taking your missus fishing and there's no toilets there, this would be ideal. It's stick in there, bit of privacy, and do your business. Don't worry, I'm not going to film a shower or me using the toilet on this video, but they will work. I forgot to add, originally $17.79, could be yours for as little as $12.45. Pooing in peace. Beautiful. Oh, it feels like Christmas going through all this stuff. And I've got to say, so far, the winners have got to be these shoes. They may not look the best, but they feel really, really good, which I'm quite impressed with. So let's crack on and rattle through a few more items, maybe a bit more pace, and see what we think of each of them. Now, this one is... just go. This one is an outdoor fan. I'm not going to lie, that is a lot bigger than I was expecting it to be, but never mind. Hopefully it's decent. So first things first, it's much bigger than I thought it was from looking at the pictures, but it looks like it's going to do everything it needs to. The fan can be rotated up or down. It's actually got functions to rotate itself. So if you turn it on with the button in the middle, it's 25%, 50, 75, and 100. Let's turn that back off. It's probably blown on the mic, but I've got to tell you, that feels lovely. You've also got a night mode, which I'm guessing, not sure, I should probably read the manual. I haven't got time for that. You've got a light, which has got 3 settings. Goes as bright as that. So you can use it as a bivvy light and a fan. It's got a timer, and you can rotate it either 90 degrees or 45 degrees and off. Hang it, use the remote as well, I forgot to mention, on, off, all the controls that does. It's got the remote as well. Other than the size of it, I think it's really, and also it's 20,000 mAh rechargeable, and I'm pretty sure you can use it as a power bank. Yes, there's an out on the back, in and out on the back, USB and USB-C. So it's a power bank, a fan, a light. That's it. That sounded like I was going to rattle off more things. But other than the size, pretty decent if you ask me. And the original price of that was £30.79, but it could be yours for as little as £9.23. Sweet. On to the next. What's this one? Oh, inflatable chair. Now this, I'm pretty sure, if I can get it out, is perfect for traveling light, if you're roving, stalking, or also for what I think I've got it for, is for sitting on your bed chair and having some back support, because I suffer terribly with a bad back, and this is one of those chairs, it is indeed, which you click like so. And so when you sit on one side, you've then got the back support, but it's inflatable. So, I haven't got a pump. Or is this an up and down? Open the inflator, close the rear outlet, put your foot on the sponge and press the gasket properly. Oh. Bear with. I can't say I've ever foot pumped up a chair before, but that's really handy that the pump is built into the chair itself. And there, that's exactly what I was trying to explain, is that obviously that's now going to hold your weight. When you sit on it, you give yourself the back support. And you just pop that on your bed chair, like so. And voila, you got yourself some back support. So this is something that will genuinely stay in my fishing armory, because, as I've said, I suffer with a bad back a lot. And I think a lot of that is down to the fact that when you're sat on a bed chair, you're like this, or you're holding yourself up in a really awkward way. This, you can lie back and you've got a bit of back support, which should be a big help. And this came in at an original price of £29.02. Could be yours for as £3.89. On to the next. Small little one this, and it's a tackle box filler really. It's got your bait needles, I think bait screws, some hair stops. And to be honest, that looks exactly the same as the Nash one I've got. It's the same rubber. I can actually probably check because it's in my tackle box behind, but I can tell you that is exactly the same as the Nash one I've got. And you've got a purple closed latched one, a stringer needle, and a bait drill with some bait stops and that as well. And it comes in its own little tub, but you probably take them out of there and put them in your tackle box. And this comes in at original price £1.57, so not much at all, but it could be yours, all of that, for 15p. I don't need to say much more than that, do I? Next up is a set of portable electronic scales. Now I did get these out beforehand because I was pretty sure they need batteries, of which they did. They needed 2 AAAs, but dead basic scales, and they have units on them, kilos, pounds, and it's 0.02, so it's going to be point something of a pound. I think a lot of people can get confused sometimes when they weigh a fish that says it's 9.9. That's 0.9 of a pound, so you then have to work out how many ounces that is. So a bit fiddly like that. But then you've got ounces, so you can weigh a fish in just ounces if you want to. And lastly, you've got the temperatures. Currently saying it's 17 degrees, which is quite a comfortable temperature. Backlit, does what it needs. I mean, this is probably going to be used mainly for weighing your luggage before you fly out to Barbados on Ryanair. But if you need a cheap set of scales, you can get these. And checking the price, they came in at £5.04 originally, but you can get it for 51p. Sorted. Next up, distance sticks. Now I know you can just use some old pegs if you're in a pinch, or maybe old bank sticks, but this, oh, they're nice. Didn't be surprised. So really lightweight metal construction with a, I don't know, like an anodized green tip to them. Quite chunky, and they've got recesses in them so that your line can grip onto the poles themselves. They're genuinely really nice, and it comes with the string, which I'm hoping is going to be set to 12 foot. Otherwise, you might be wrapping out a bit wrong distance. That's probably worth checking before you use them. But on the whole, that is everything you need for distance stick sets. They may actually stay in my shed as a backup pair. Decent set, actually. Originally £15.44. You can get them for as little as £1.54. We're starting to rattle through these, and I'm genuinely at the point where I don't always remember exactly what I bought, but by feeling this one, I can tell this one is a bait spoon. A very simple one, nice carpy green. It's basically the same as a poop scoop. If you've got a cat, you know exactly what I mean. But it's nice and simple. Scooping your bait out. How much is this going to cost? Because I don't think these should ever cost very much, but certain brands charge quite a bit for them. And this is coming in at an original price of £1.79. could be yours for 17p. Reasonable. That's how much bait and spoon should be. Another tiny one. And this is a finger stall for doing spotting, or if you're doing a lot of fishing for pike and stuff, I suppose, and you want to make sure you don't cut into your finger. I'm trying to remember which finger this goes on. This one. Complete mind blank. There we go. Nice and simple, comfortable. Does exactly what you need a finger stall to do. It protects your finger. If you don't know what a finger stall is, when you're casting with normally braid, you don't want any kind of line step, and if it does, you don't want it to cut into your finger. It's quite grippy, this one. How hard wearing it's going to be, I'm not sure. Go on. But very simple. Real tree camo on the backside and black everywhere else. I'm expecting this one to be only £1 or so, going by what everything else was, and this one that comes in at 91p. Go on. Nearly at the end of this bag, there's 2 more items. First of which, another small one. Now these were, what's the actual name of them? Fish hook holder. I'm not going to get them all out because they're all exactly the same. I'll get one of them out. And it's just a universal hook holder with some little rubber rings and the bit that will hold the hook that goes onto your rod. You hold it in place with rubber rings that go around your rod. So when you pack down, rather than using your eyes to put your hook onto, which I'm terrible for doing, you put your hook onto this instead, because hooking your eyes can damage them and can damage your hook point. So it's just universal little hook holders to make sure that transporting your rigs around in position is nice and safe. And they come in at, I can't currently find the price, but I'll be flashing it on the screen for you right now. And that brings us on to the very last item of bag number 1. As you can probably see from the shape, hopefully, this is a rod and reel. It wouldn't be a Temu haul without getting something to actually put to the test to try and catch a carp. Whether I do it on this session or not, we will see. But this is it just says Placino fishing rod and fishing reel. Let's get my Stanley blade, cut that open. That's the rod. And there is the reel. You know, I'm an absolute sucker for getting tiny little rods and seeing what I can catch on them. That genuinely feels like quite a decent built metal construction. Most of that's metal actually, so it's plastic and metal. Some of it is quite cheap plastic, but the reel handle itself seems metal. The spool is metal and the bail arm and everything. Feels smooth. Clutch is good. 12+1 ball bearings if you need to know that. So this is the Placino HA3000, gear ratio 5.2 to 1. So that's the reel. And as you would have saw, I got a telescopic rod with it as well. Going by the size of the fish I've had today, I'm not sure whether this would be up for it, but if you haven't seen the little fishing video I did recently, I used a similar size telescopic rod and did catch carp to mid-double, and it wasn't much bigger than this. So there we have it. Well, actually, yeah, plenty of strength in the rod itself, but I've got no line, and I didn't bring any line. That was an oversight. So let's just attach this. There we go. It's actually a really smart looking rod. So this is a Bronze Warrior 1.8 meter lure weight, 1/4 to an ounce, 7 to 28 grams. So this is labeled as a lure rod or a little perch pike rod. For pike, probably that's going to be ideal because it's got a good bit of backbone to it. It actually feels, yeah, that's really quite stiff. So it would easily handle a carp, and I think the reel would as well, but I've been an absolute idiot and forgot to bring any spare line to spool up onto this reel. So it may not get used in this video, but rest assured it will be at some point. So make sure you subscribe to me if you aren't already, if hopefully you're enjoying this video, but also if you want to see this and loads more of other quirky little rods being put to use, make sure you subscribe because I do lots of it on this channel. And that is bag number 1 complete. Let's have a little tidy up and then we'll move on to bag number 2 and my sleeping quarters. All tidied up, ready to go on to bag number 2. But before I move on from this little rod and reel combo, this came in at an original price of £30.39. So already cheap, but could be picked up for as little as £9.11. On to bag number 2, and of course, the box I keep referring to, which is my accommodation for the night. I'm just as intrigued as you are, but going to keep you and myself waiting to see exactly how that's going to pan out later on. The next up, we have a bag within a bag. I'm genuinely getting to that stage where I'm forgetting exactly what I bought. This was done a couple of weeks ago. It arrived in a couple of different shipments, and this is the first time I'm getting it all out. So this is Still yet to know. Oh, this is part of the sleeping arrangement. An inflatable bed, and this looks like it's got the same pump action as the chair I inflated a second ago. So let's open that valve. It is exactly as I expected. We'll do that in a bit because I don't want to blow that up and let that blow away, but we will stick that to the side. Hope it doesn't get punctured, because that is going to be my mattress for the evening. So that's part one of what I'm sleeping on, but there's still a lot more to go. I will do the price of that one when it comes to actually being used later on. Next up is another bag within a bag, and this one is pegs to the crotch. Oh, I think this is just a huge tarp. So whether you want to make a basic shelter, it's looking like it's going to be pretty big. Yes, or maybe just chuck it over all your kit on a session where you didn't bring much to keep yourself dry and all your kit dry. You can chuck this over your barrow and keep it all dry that way. I know it's got pegging points and loops on the corners, so we'll have a little look if we can configure this into some kind of shelter in a bit. But that is just one big waterproof tarp with a shiny silvery on the inside and a green on the out. Comes with a bag and pegs, and that comes in at an original price of £11.09, but you can pick that up for as little as £1.10. On to the next. A Kunor portable high volume boilie grinder. Create crumb loose feed mixes in an instant. Now I've seen these in various different manufacturers' colours and logos. They all basically do exactly the same thing. It's a small bait crusher, so you put your bait in the top there, wind. I actually think it's labelled as an ice crusher. Either go or don't. It's labelled as an ice crusher, but you can mulch up some boilie and stuff in there. It's dead simple. There's not much that can go wrong on one of these. I think it can hold probably about half a kilo in there by the looks of things. I will be trying that later on before I get my rods done for the night. And this, let's have a look how much this one comes in at. An original price of £11 exactly. Can be picked up for £1.10. Next up, already a bit loose in the packaging, but quite a distinctive look, is obviously a form of bait deployment rocket. But the way that this opens and shuts is basically I'm not sure who distributes them now. They were spider spods, then they were wolf spods. They're all different things, but it's based around that, and to all intents and purposes looks and feels to be the same. These work on more of an impact basis, so that they're magnets. There's no push button or clip. I think you sort of loosen the vanes a bit from using branded ones, so they go a bit looser. It's got a spring in the middle, so that when it hits the water, they pop open like so. Don't think this one costs too much. Let's have a look how much this one came in at. Original price of £6.89. You could get them for as little as 68p. Bargain. Next up, this one. Genuinely not a clue. This looks like one of those cheapy Halfords toolboxes you can get. What is it? I genuinely don't even know. Unless... I do know now. Apologies. This is for in the car for holding your rods. So you attach this to, I think, the Jesus handles, the grab handles, whatever you want to call them. And then you've got Velcro tabs that can hold the rods in. So you can have them hung on the roof, keeping it off of everything. Or in a van, something like that, you can have it down the side. That's exactly what those are. I completely forgot I got those. So I know there's a couple of other items in here which needs to be tested down at the car, but let's just check the price of these. And these come in at CarpFishing rod holders. They are originally £7.35, could be picked up for £7.30. So this, along with something else that's in here, will be tested at the car. You'll probably have seen that being overlaid as I talked about it. And that other item is this one. Now these were magnetic rod holders, because if you're anything like me, sorry, that's probably loud down the mic, apologies headphone users. If you're anything like me, when you get your rods out the car, if they're loose, you prop them up against the car, they slide down, they can scratch your paint, or your rods just fall off and damage them. These are magnetic rod holders basically. So when you're sorting your rods by your car or your van, that will stick to the bodywork of your car. And they've got these little retainers that your rods can pop in, and there's actually a little elasticated toggle which would then hold them in place as well. So you've got one which is more of a straight shape, one that's more curved, convex. I want to say that's convex. Concave is in, convex is out, I believe. Comment below if I got that completely wrong. But these just stick to outside your car, hold your rod in position, save your paintwork, and stop your rods from falling down. And they came in at, currently struggling to find the price right here, but I will be flashing it up on the screen so you know exactly what they come in at. Here we have it, the last item of the second bag. Just have a little check. It is indeed. This is technically another item of clothing, but something a bit more practical, because I believe these should be waders. It'll be interesting to see if these fit, because I was trying to gauge the fitment and size guide on the website. Get off. But I was struggling somewhat, but I believe these to be UK size 11 waders with some very luminous bottoms. So yeah, these are large European 45s. I'm pretty sure that is UK size 11. It comes with a repair patch and some glue. That's nice. That's going to get lost by chucking it in there. There we are. Some pretty standard, basic black waders. How high do they actually come up to? Yeah, just above my belly. So they're not all the way up to the chest. Whether the label does chest weighs, I'm not sure. They're just below my tits, basically. We'll chuck those on in a second and see how they fit. And these came in at an original price of £24.17. Could be picked up for as little as £7.25 for a set of waders. Now, they're quite rubbery and a little bit stretchy, so they could be worn on a pride parade perhaps, but also fishing if you need them to. And that finally brings us on to this box here. So let's have a little tidy up once more and open up what we've all been waiting for. Please be good. Now, everything else so far has been relatively cheap. Now, this is where Temu let me splurge a little bit and push the budget somewhat, because this was originally £210.56, which for Temu prices you'd have thought could buy you a semi-detached house in Hull. But no, this is now available for potentially as little as £155.93. So what's in here for that sort of extortionate price from Temu? Well, hopefully quite a lot, because this is what I'm going to be, as I've mentioned many times, sleeping on and sleeping in, because this should be within here. As you can see, I'm opening up for the first time, so I haven't checked this. If this isn't what I think it is, I'm sleeping on the stones today. This should be a complete bed and tent all in one. So that's called Night Cat. And this, it's looking good so far. It feels substantial. Should be the bed. Now, as you saw, I've also got the inflatable Lilo, which is going to be going on with this as well. And what this kit didn't come with was a sleeping bag. So I have fished out the sleeping bag from a previous Temu video, which if you cast your mind back to that video, I slept in a sleeping bag on a inflatable sofa, which I had to inflate by running up and down the bank. A lot of you found that very amusing. No running up and down the bank required for this one, but I do need to set it up. And if this works well, it could genuinely be quite a nice alternative to a bivvy and bed chair, which is quite heavy. You've got to lug it all around, because this, although from the pictures looks petite, could be quite good. So let's get this set up and see what we think. So it's up, it's set, it's ready for the night. Are you ready for the grand reveal? Oh yes. A little walk around. I'm filming on the action cam because we're going to go straight inside in a second, and it's not the most spacious, but we have vents, which I could use guide ropes. Oh, actually they got little storm vents. That's something I've just discovered live for you. So we've got some little air vents. Got one of them on each side. I can toggle up the front, but at the moment I've got it pegged out as a nice little porch. So I've got a little foot space area inside, but footprint wise it's small. Let's not beat around the bush. Do I think it's going to replace a bed chair and a Tempest, for example? Depends how much time you have in your hands. I think the camera is checking how long it took to get it to this state before I even put any pegs in. I think it was about 15 minutes, so it's not quick. But having said that, once it's up, if you then wanted to move to the other side of the lake. You can literally just carry this whole thing. It weighs a couple of kilos, so it really doesn't weigh much at all. Space underneath. A bit. Doesn't quite fit a tall bucket, but small buckets would. My tackle bag, you do this, you unzip this, you could toggle that up, but for now, I'm just going to flap it back and hope it stays. This is my living quarters. So you've got a mozzie mesh front, which could stay on if we wish, which I may use later on because quite a lot of mozzies on the Somerset levels. This is the sleeping bag from the last Temu video I did. Underneath is the inflatable mattress. So compared to my sleeping quarters last time, this is absolute luxury. There's a little hook in there for things. I don't have to put this on. If I wanted to just have an airy mozzie mesh vent thing, I could just sleep in this. But let's see, you want to see me in it now, don't you? Oh, hello. And a pillow built in. That is comfy. This is my view. I'm just over 6 foot, and I am, well, I've still got room at the top. You can probably see there, so if I shimmy up, oh, there we go. Feet aren't touching the end. I don't think my head's touching the end. No, not quite. And straight out, it's working quite nicely, so I could zip that up tonight if I want, if the mozzies are being a pain. But other than that, it's a cool little setup. Now, is it going to be good for carp fishing? Well, if you're on a budget for bed and shelter, all in one, and the fishery allows it, I must add, this venue does have a no tent rule, but I did clarify with the owner. It was all good for me to film here, so you got that to contend with. Oh, we've got a little receiver pocket, some valuables, things like that. Let's check the actual prices, because I said I'd run through them, didn't I? So this tent, which is called a camping cot tent, one person off-ground combo cot bed for adults, outdoor camping, fishing, hiking, portable, easy setup tent. It is easy to set up, it's just a bit time consuming. Original price, £210.56. So the bed itself, if you just use that alone, is really heavy duty. I can see that lasting a very long time. The material on the tent is quite thin, but then again, I think most tents like this are. For an all-in-one, if you're going camping and wanted to take something really lightweight and time wasn't too much of an issue, this genuinely is a really nice option. And then the actual, let's have a look what the bed was. The bed was called a one-person ultralight air pad rectangle sleeping pad nylon outdoor camping with built-in inflator pump and stuff sack for hiking and camping. Original price, £12.89. Could pick it up for as little as £1.28. So, what do you think? Is that a win? Is that a plus? Would you go out and buy something like this, whether you're into fishing or just outdoor stuff and hiking? On the whole, I think that's quite a nice little setup. It's cozy. Like I said, the legs on it are the heavy-duty bits, so you're off-ground. A lot more comfortable than the setup I had last time, but then again, last time was a kid's tent and an inflatable sofa with a combined price of probably 30 quid. So yes, it's more pricey, but I think that's a bit more user-friendly, more fit for purpose, and it'll be good for not just fishing, but other things as well. Then I've got my my portable privacy thing, which at the moment is being used as a bit of a dumping ground for everything else I've just gone through. But that's it. That is my Temu haul. What do you think? Good? Bad? We'll see how I get on tonight, because I will be sleeping in that. I need to get the rods back out because they haven't actually been in the water for the last hour whilst I faffed around doing things. And remember to use my code DYU8726 for £100 worth of coupons on Temu. So you can get all of this stuff with a big discount as well. Good fun. What do you think? Well, the rods are now set, one in the right margin, one in the left margin, and quite a bit of bait on the top of each of them. The reason for that is that when I got here this morning, there was clear signs that a lot of fish were here and they'd be feeding for a while. So if that's going to happen again tomorrow morning and there's a feeding window in this swim, I want to make sure that I've got bait there ready for them, rigs there ready for them, to hopefully get a bite on each rod. And because there's quite a bit of bait there, if I do get a bite, hopefully they'll come back for more and get multiple bites. So that's the reason for where I'm fishing and how much bait I've put out. But if I don't get any bites in the night, I'm not going to be too upset, because this bed feels comfortable, it's nice and cozy in here, and rather selfishly, I haven't got my daughter to wake me up. She had us up from midnight to 2:30 last night, so I'm very much feeling it already. Even though it was about 8:30 in the evening, I think I'm going to put this chair under the bed, get into bed, and get some sleep. If the rods go off, happy days. If not, no worries. I'll be getting some sleep. But I'm looking forward to sleeping here. It's much more cozy than the last Temu video I did for the carp fishing side of things. I think I'm actually going to get some decent sleep, and it's good on my back as well. Yeah, I'm going to sleep well. Well, it seems my semi-heavy bait approach from last night is paying off, because although I had that fish at about 20 to 2 in the morning, I just had 2 bites on the same rod within 20 minutes on the left margin. So clearly they've moved in here and I've got that little morning bite window. I slipped the second one back because it was a bit smaller, but the first one I thought we'd give away as we've got some scales to give a try. So the sling is already wet, the fish is still in the net in the margin. I'll go grab it in a second, but let's zero the sling first, which weighs 1.47 kilos. So let's tear that. $5.88 kilos. 5.88 kilos. I'll be flashing up on screen what that transfers to into pounds and ounces for all of us in the UK. But as I know, these videos don't just get watched. Don't just get watched by us in the UK. There you are in kilos. So just shy of 6 kilos, sorry. Quite a pretty fish. And he's a pretty one. Just as the rain's coming in, so it's putting the tarp to good test with all the stuff under there, and my shelter for the night. And there we go, bite number 3 for the night, the second in that 20-minute window on the left-hand rod, and very welcome. And the scales worked, as you'd expect them to. Alright, the rain's coming down quite hard now, not that you can probably see that on camera. Let's get this one back, and get in the shelter. The rain has finally passed, the sun is out, and the wind is picking. There's about 30-mile-an-hour gusts, and that one peg is holding in strong. It's stopping the whole thing from tipping over. It's done its job. It kept me dry. It was rather confined whilst in there whilst it's raining, but that's to be expected from the size of it. But let me know in the comment section what you thought of all the things that I got on this Temu haul. Whether you liked it, rate it, whether you think it's not worth it, or whether you think, actually, I'm going to get some of those myself as well. And if there's anything else you've ever got from Temu that you think I should have a look at, put that in the comment section below as well. And remember, use the code that you're seeing on the screen right now, input it into Temu for up to £100 worth of Temu coupons. That's everything from me for now. That is Temu haul number 4 completed. I'll see you in the next one.